Hello and welcome. And we've looked at this machine before. Yes, we have. This is the machine before LGR had one with the Pentium overdrive chip in it. So there's the Pentium overdrive chip, see? So this machine used to be a 486 66DX2, and we've shown this video on the channel before. Shown this machine on the channel before, I should say. This is the DELL Dimension 466V, or the DELL Optiplex 466V. I haven't got a clue. And the reason why I haven't got a clue is I did know what this machine was. I used to have the specs of it, which I've shown here on the channel, and went through the motherboard on the channel. That's all the information that I have. I was trying to update the BIOS on this one, along with the few others that I have that I mentioned before. And do you think I can find the BIOS update for it? No. I can't remember what I did, but I'm really sure I upgraded one of these machines to the later BIOS. I don't know where it is. I'm just hoping that it isn't the motherboard I sold a few years back for €14. Yes, you've heard it here. A 486 motherboard with VLB for €14. I must have been smelling something that day. Anyway, it's worth more than €14. You know, in fairness, this board, you know, if I was selling it today, 50 quid. I think that's a fair price plus postage. And yes, I said 50 quid. This is retro PCs. I've had spare ones. This motherboard, I reckon 50 quid would be around about the place for one of these boards. Are they 50 quid? Not a chance, because people are into the retro machines. Okay, this video card is the Mac 32 from ATI. I have actually got the Mac 64, which I've mentioned before, and the speed increase between the Mac 32 and the Mac 64 is basically mediocre. One thing I can't remember actually is, does the Mac 64 have the VESA or the universal VESA built into the graphics card? I don't know whether it does or not. Why does that matter? It matters for some older video card games. This particular video card, the ATI 32, does not have it built in. You have to upload the driver when the machine turns on in DOS, so you can actually run some games that require the universal driver to be installed. It's just some games in different colours and stuff like that, so it's important to have. It's the Opti Premium chipset, which we mentioned before. It has an onboard Cirrus Logic video card, 1 megabyte, so it's 512 and 512 upgraded, 1 megabyte. It's currently disabled because we have this beauty in here, the ATI with 2 megabytes on board. Woohoo! Now, would I go out and buy one of the Mac 32 cards over the Cirrus Logic card? Probably not. If you can find a decent VLB Cirrus Logic card, get it. For a reasonable price. Around about 50 quid again, I reckon is the price, plus postage. I know postage is going to be on top of that, but I reckon about €50 plus postage. So somewhere around the region, I suppose €70 all in will be a reasonable price to pay for one of these video cards. But one in decent nick. This particular video card here will cost you more, probably €70–80, something like that. That's a very good price for this card. It's a damn good card. It's got good features and it's got good pace in DOS and Windows. What's this video all about? Well, let's continue on with the explanation here, because, you know, if you're new to the channel, you wouldn't have seen it before. There's a 3-com network card here, ISA mode, and there is a Sound Blaster 16 value, which actually isn't working on one of the sides. Left speaker, right speaker, can't remember which, but it isn't working on one side. Could just be a dirt issue, but I'm not going to worry about that. That's something that I'll fix at a later stage. It's not really something to make a video of. It's probably a dirty contact, bit of contact cleaner, probably fix it up. Could be something else in the sound card. Again, it doesn't really matter for this particular video. The reason why I'm making this video is that I want to show you a Orchid 64 Kelvin, which is one of those video cards that's highly sought after. Now, when it was working, I actually was, you know, looking at a mediocre test there. That actually Phil's Computer Lab has he actually has this benchmark set that he had. I ran it with the 64, didn't work brilliantly. Ran it with the Mac 32, it was faster. These are cheaper cards. Get one of these, trust me. ATI, AMD, trust me. You know, that's what you want to get. One of these cards. Anyway, if you get a decent Cirrus Logic card for a decent price, get it. Otherwise, go for this baby here. The rest of them are just going to be crazy money. Tenzig Labs, all them, you know, crazy money. You know, you're into retro computers to enjoy the thrill and have a bit of fun. Like there recently, I saw a the Voodoo 5, or something like €1,000. Because some guy in Spain, I think it is, or Portugal, he upgrades them and changes them about, I don't know. found it hard to spend that sort of money on the latest video card. Let alone one that's 10 years plus old. 10 years old, has been 20 years old at this stage probably. It's old. 3DFX I got a long time. Buy a decent NVIDIA or ATI and modernise all your gaming. I think that's what you should do there. Yeah, retro gaming is great. I can do retro gaming because this particular PC here, I repaired these machines back in the day. This is, a machine that came from one of my customers. I had actually of this model without the CPU and just the force. This is something that I upgraded only one or two at the time. But I had this model, bloody hundreds of them, just I ended up scrapping half of them, and I sold one of the boards. I said for like €14 or thereabouts on the old eBay. And I regret selling it for that low price. I should have put it up for, like, let's say €30 or €40 in fairness. It's worth at least that. 15 quid after the fees, stupidly 8 quid or something, at the time of it. It's just ridiculous, cheap postage on it and postage and packaging. Yeah, it was silly to have sold it for that price. I don't regret selling to the person at that price. They're going to get a lot of happipiness out of it. I actually think they sold it on eBay themselves. I think I discovered it by accident about 2 years ago, and they sold for something like $89. So, because I went to America, by the way. Fair play to them, but like I said, if I was selling one today, if I had any more spare ones, which I may do, I reckon in the ballpark of 50 quid plus the postage. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the BIOS again in this machine. Why not? So we'll do that now. And what we'll do then is we'll take out this video card and we'll put it in the Orchid Kelvin. And we'll show you what the problem is with the Orchid Kelvin. Make that a bit clearer. Yeah. Now, what we have here is the Dell Computer Corporation system setup. The BIOS version, which is off the screen, is A02. And we have the time there and the date, which is all incorrect, of course. Reason being is the system battery is dead as disco. And what I had to do was I just put a temporary battery on it just to get it to work. But at some stage I must actually upgrade to a decent battery, but doesn't matter. No. It just means that when you're going to use the machine, you've got to go into the BIOS, set the date and the time, and just do soft reboots or hard, reset in the front. Just don't turn the power off and it'll maintain the time. It's not really a big deal. If you're going to start retro gaming on a machine like this, and the biggest problem you have is the date and time being deleted every time we turn it on, join the Commodore 64 club, because we haven't even got a clock. Or if you do set the clock on that again, same thing, no battery. It's not really a deal breaker. It's not really worth worrying about. We'll set the time here to the current time if I can. If my keyboard's working, oh, there we are. Aha! Oh, so that's just the current time. Plus he says 9:20. Whoop. 2009, it's 17, and the date is June. It's June now, yeah, all day. The 2nd. One quirk on this actually is I noticed that the date ends on 2099. So if I do make it 2099, I'll have to do something about this because I won't be able to use the machine anymore with a proper date, which will be unfortunate. 2020, this cassette drive is correct. There's no B. And do auto sense. There we are. Memory is the memory. This is the base memory and extended memory. The 48 megabytes of memory is what the machine has, which is correct. This is the way you do the BIOS for the video. Always have it on and cached because it makes a big difference. This is the external cache on the motherboard. Again, this can be upgraded, which I did on this particular motherboard. Numlock is just to have the keyboard with a little numlock. Alt P, let's go to the next page. So the numlock is actually, the numlock keyboard is working. Keyboard errors report, system password not available, boot sequence diskette first. I think on the upgraded BIOS I was able to choose CD-ROM drive there. I think it allowed it. I'm nearly sure of it, Actually, one unfortunate thing actually I must try find, and I seem to have mislaid it, is I was sure, and I'm very, very sure, I should have a gateway machine with PCI slot in it. So I'm trying to find that at the minute, so we can do a little video of it. But I seem to have mislaid it. I had two of them. One I threw away because it was an absolute piece of junk, and the second one I managed to salvage out of the two. But I wouldn't exactly be jumping up and down, So you can see here we got the AT and PS2. AT basically means it's sending information one direction at a time, and PS2 allows it to send information two directions at a time. Sometimes you'll use that bidirectional to make it as a null modem cable, or to use for some printers require it. There's other, external modems, some of them require. It's a fair few things that may or may not require it. A lot of stuff is nowadays null and void with USB. Mouse is on. Again, it's the same thing. It's if there's no mouse needed, you can turn it off. It can make differences in DOS and that. A lot of stuff is not relevant anymore. So you can see here the external cache is 256. All these machines came with 128K, and I upgraded it to 256. This here is set by some jumpers on the motherboard, which allow you to actually choose which. Okay, so here we have the Orchid Kelvin. Yum 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 yum. The chip on this is actually a Cirrus Logic chip. What makes it so special is the fact that it has a 64-bit path, which makes a big difference on the speed. So here's your extension slot for the VLB. There's a standard 8-bit slot, ISA. So ISA and VLB. We have 512, 512, 512, 512. So we got a total of 2 megs of RAM. And we have the little clock crystal with the main chip with the BIOS. And we have a feature upgrade, of course. And so always have the old feature upgrade, very important. And we have a bodge wire over here. And look at this little fella here, nice colour. Write in the comments what that is. What is that? That's be a fight over it now, little diodes and stuff there, lovely jubbly. So basically, like I said, what makes this special is the fact it's got 64-bit path. It's a video card that I bought for a customer's machine, and they were using it for years and years. And as I said to a few of the customers that were with me over the years, is if you ever thrown out your old machines, come back to me, with the old machines, and I'll take them off you for recycling or whatever. And a few of them said, "Oh, do we get any money for that?" And I'd say, well, no, I'm taking them off to recycle, and I knew it myself, like I take them off for basically to for my own usage in my own machines. I haven't sold off any of the cars that I got. One of my biggest regrets, actually, and I don't regret that much, is not buying I've mentioned this before, as far as I know too, a Voodoo 5 card, which was brand new in the box. Now, thankfully I got a friend of mine to buy it. I don't know whether he still has it or not though, and that's the only thing. Unfortunately, he's over in Bulgaria now, so there's no real way of knowing whether he still has it or not. I think he liquidated all the stock anyway, Anyway, so what do I think is wrong with this card? I think this RAM here is faulty, these two pieces. So I have bought more RAM for it, but we're going to boot it up into Windows first, and we're going to show you the glitch that we're having, and then I'm going to turn the machine off, change those 2 pieces of RAM for 2 pieces that are apparently good and brand new or refurbished, and start the machine up again. And with a bit of luck, we'll have an Orchid Kelvin 64 video card up and running again. Like I said, what I like about this card over the ATI is that it has that those VESA extensions built in. The universal, VESA, they're dead handy to have. It just saves you loading drivers and all that rubbish. Right, so let's put this in the 486 and we will... Okay, now the driver has installed, and as you can see, the graphics are all over the shop. So let's just have a look at the what the graphics card driver installed. Obviously I had to turn it off there when I was doing that bit. So where is it now? Control panel, yep. I don't need to do that, I can just do this. I can just do properties. So we're going all over. And it's 256. Doesn't matter what you change, it's still the same. Advanced properties. So CLGD5434 Vision 0 with 2 megs of RAM, and that's basically it. I've tried everything here, it didn't work. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take out those 2 little pieces of RAM, and I'm going to replace them with 2 fresh ones I just bought. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, so here we have a giant big packet of RAM. Yippity skippity doo. Right, okay. I'm going to get a small plenty of noise here, you know. What's he saying? Pardon? Right, okay, so we're just going to pop these little beauties out, look. Yoink. Pretty loose, aren't they? Yeah, I thought that might be the case too, but they're making contact alright. Just doesn't work. Yeah, that was exciting. So I took the two pieces out, here and here. So I'll put them over yonder. I'm going to liberate two pieces from the fantastic packaging. So I'll do that now, off camera. There's one there, liberated. And I'm careful enough I can liberate a second. Okay, so now I've got two pieces of RAM. The only thing I've got to do is figure out the orientation. You got to make sure you orientate them correctly. So I'll take the video card out to do this. That way you can see me doing it. It's probably a bit easier. Okay, so I just put it in while I was here. I got a big thick finger, my big thick sausage fingers, get them out of the way. Okay, so this is actually hard to do. There's the dot, see it? See it? See it? The orientation is the indentation. So that's where it goes. And we have a screen that's now working perfectly with graphics. So we're now going to go back to that. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. I have it installed. We're going to run a bit of Riven. And there you have it. Let's see what Riven looks like. The problem was the RAM, which is what I suspected. And thankfully it was the two RAM pieces that could be taken out, and not the ones that are soldered onto the board. We say soldered over here. But I had to hear the word soldered. Solder and Gomorrah, you know? I don't know. Soldered. I'm going to solder my board. We say solder. I don't know why. There. We're weird. Right, okay, so let's go to programs. Let's go to Riven. Let's click. Oh, excuse me, your splash screen. Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. Oh, there I am again. Hello. I'll turn off that light over here. I keep coming as we keep appearing in the screen. Turn off all the lights I can. Okay, I'm gonna hit play Riven. What can we do? I was hoping to start a new game there. I'll turn off those overhead lights. I think it's a pretty good machine for retro gaming still, you know. But yeah, when I ran that test, I found the Orchid Kelvin to be not as fast as the Mac 32 from ATI, so that's interesting, you know. Skip all this.
Thank God.
Will it let me skip it? No, it does. Let's see how this works. Let's see if this guy is smooth or juddery. Last time we did this was with that ATI card, I think, wasn't it? There's an Orchid Kelvin now. Now we're cooking on gas. I don't know whether there's actually something I noticed was the resolutions. I don't know whether that I had it in the higher resolution or the lower resolution. But yeah.
rekoa. Tagema su rekoa. Isira. Mutika boku wa nai. Isira. Mutika boku wa nai. Boku wa nai. Isira. Boku wa nai. Boku wa nai.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to review the other video myself now. I don't know whether it's better or not. It just looks better. I don't know what camera I was using the last time either. It could be the JVC camera, which is long gone. This is a Panasonic I'm using now. Oh, he's being shot with an arrow. A poor sod. That's the end of him. Good night. Oh, here comes their anti-villain. I hit the space bar again there. Whoop, bars disappeared. I'll let you transition. Let's see. We'll do the little what do you call it? Little carriage race. Remember that? We'll do it again on this machine with this video card and see if it's any way smoother. Let's have a look. This may take a while. In here. Hit the door handle. I don't think it's doing too badly, in fairness, for a motherboard with a 486. Well, obviously the chip is a Pentium 83, but the motherboard is 486 styling. So amazing what you can do when you give it a bit more pace, you know. But I have a funny feeling the chipset was the chipset was designed for it, I'd say, because they actually mentions a Pentium overdrive on the actual motherboard. Like it, you know, obviously the socket is designed for a Pentium overdrive. So what I'm doing here is I'm just have to wait. It's pretty smooth to me. .486 that can do more than one thing, and that's impressive. What I like about this is it'll play some of the lower end Pentium games, but you can also then use it in DOS for 486 gaming, so you're sort of sitting between two stools. The 386 machines always drove me nuts because you couldn't do very much with them. So when I actually went from 386 to a Pentium straight away. I skipped 486 in my upgrades, but when I actually saw the 486s for the first time coming to my door for repair, I was very impressed with them, especially over the 386, you know. I had a 386 SX16, which I mentioned before, but actually one of the machines I got in repair too actually was an AMD DX40 386, which was actually quite close to a 486 in performance. I think the video on this is quite smooth actually. I'm actually quite impressed. I'll have to go back to the other video and have a look, you know, see what the difference is in the quality, but I think this is actually pretty good. Probably got the edge here, I know. Not whether it's worth worrying about that too much. I mean, you're probably not going to be doing these sort of games, but anyway. Alright then. Masters, here's the money shot. You ready? Here it goes. Off you go. Gonna ask for another disc now, I think. Let's put it in and there we go. Next disc, in you go. Thank you very much. And what we do here, actually, just before we go any further, is we check out the transitions best. Zip mode, transitions. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Say normal. Oh. No, but actually, say what we do none. See what happens. Slideshow gaming. Fastest. Yeah, it's probably better having a smooth, a little bit of a transition, isn't it? Looks a bit better. Creatures are down here, isn't it? Anyway, there you are. That's Riven on a 486 system with a Pentium overdrive. So we came back to it again. We've revisited it again. What we'll do is we'll leave it at that, and we've proven that the fault in the machine was 2 dodgy pieces of RAM. So what I'll do now is I will mark these as dodgy, and that's it. So I'd just like to say thank you very, very much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoy these videos. I'd like you to like, subscribe, and all the usual crack, you know, because it really helps. Just get them away, so. When they wake up and go, just wait, don't do anything. Keep on doing that, and you'll actually manage to get right up beside them. Yeah, see, I'm swimming off there in the back of that. What a game. Still, to me, it's one of those games that I really, really enjoyed. Mist drove me up the wall, but Riven, I actually enjoyed it, and I enjoyed playing it. And it's just one of those games, you know. But again, yeah, like, subscribe, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again hopefully in the next video. Bye bye.
Groovy. Who wants some? Come get some.
And that was Duke Nukem playing on the 486 of the Pentium overdrive. Thanks.